I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the Anishinaabeg, the Haudenosaunee, the Lenape-Pewauk, and the Kinongtung nations, whose traditional lands I am filming this video on. I acknowledge historical and ongoing injustices that Indigenous people endure in Canada, and I accept responsibility as an individual to contribute towards revealing and correcting miseducation as well as renewing respectful relationships with the Indigenous communities throughout the work that I produce. Start the is just how it's going to work, because I never know how I'm going to come into the show. State of the Arts here at London. Today I have in front of the camera Myke Armstrong. How are you, Myke?
I'm good.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Good. Hot dog. Me too. Look, we had some. We had to get some stuff out of the way. We had to kind of get some other feelers out. Just to say it out loud, just to be fair. We're white guys. We don't need another channel. There was some stuff I wanted to say before we got to this, but here we are. I'm finally very happy to have you on the show. I'm glad that you came decked out, man. So,
well,
go.
It helps my inner narcissist. I don't talk about myself nearly as much at work as I should, so any outlet is good.
Yeah, I don't give you a microphone. Is that what it boils down to?
Typically.
Yeah, I got you, man. So look, okay, I've got you in front of the camera. I went on a deep dive and I did. You have a deep resume of very varied and wide things. You have definitely kind of spread yourself across the way. You've done a band for a long time. We were talking about it a little while ago. You've done some movies now.
Yeah.
You've kind of done some of that. You went to school for
recreation and leisure services.
Right.
I just wanted to see what happened if I threw $10,000 in the garbage.
Yes. Isn't that? Yeah.
Yeah, I've never used that diploma.
No. It has now. Okay, so let's. I mean, you said it, so we're going to chase that down a little bit. Is it just that you went through it? You graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was not for you, or was it a timing thing?
Well, I went to college to get out of the kitchen. That was the big thing. I had quit drugs. The band had broken up. The nightclub was gone.
Yeah.
And I went, Dad, what do I do? I was like 24, I think.
Yeah.
He's like, go to school. Well, okay, sure. What should I go for?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you like hockey. I'm like, yeah. He was like, be a Zamboni driver. Work at the fair. I'm like, oh, okay. How do I do that? He goes, rec and leisure. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah. So I did. And, to pay for school, you have to work.
Yes.
So I got a job in a kitchen again and worked at the college to pay to go to college and realized that I didn't want to leave the kitchen. I just wanted to leave the kitchen I was at before.
Just a change of scenery rather than a change of job.
So while I was at school, I became the catering manager for the school.
Yeah.
And realized I loved it. And I stuck around a year after graduation.
Yeah.
Still working at the school.
Nice. Yeah.
I actually catered my own graduation.
Get out of here.
I didn't walk across the stage in the robe and get my diploma. I was too busy making chicken sautés.
Had your apron on.
Yeah, and as soon as my class all came out for the reception, I jumped out of the kitchen, threw on a shirt and tie, and went and jumped in some pictures, and then ran back into the kitchen because I had to get ready for the next grad group.
Yes, of course. Yeah, because the it never stops, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. How many people were you serving at that particular? Like, what was your grad?
Oh. Well, it was our class and a couple others.
Yeah.
So probably 500.
God, see those are numbers that don't make any sense to me. I come from a small town, and my graduating class, I think if I say 100, I'd be kind of pushing it. That's like everybody.
Well, at the time, Fanshawe had, I think, 17,000 students.
Jesus. Wow.
And
okay.
It's almost double that now, I would imagine.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Because we have the downtown campus now, too.
That's right. Yeah.
We didn't have that when I was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny. Like, there's all these different classes, and I'm feeding all of them. And during, sometimes I'd be at the Outback Shack cooking. Sometimes I'd be at the Oasis or hopping back and forth in between. And yeah, kitchens have always just been where I feel at home.
Yeah, I got you.
And I can never really work in an office. I cuss too much.
Yeah,
I'm too weird.
I don't think that your office attire might not necessarily match with what they want. Business cash, right? You're doing movies. Like the last thing you just did was Night with
Nathan.
Night with Nathan.
Yeah, we wrapped filming in the summer.
Okay.
And we're in post-production now. I know we just finished editing the last of the end credits. Yeah. Spoiler alert, there is a mid-credit scene. Okay. So when it comes out, stick around. Yeah. It was very fun, written by my friend Pete, who was also the drummer in my old band, Tommy Rot. Right. And featuring Brent Baird as well, who wrote Seeking Oblivion, which was the last movie I was in. Yeah. So it was nice getting the three of us back into a flick again. The band, back together, so to speak. Yep. And it's nice. I got to do. I'm the comedic relief in both of them. They're fairly dramatic movies. Yeah. And you got to have something to break it up and give some levity, or everyone will just be sitting there crying the entire time.
Yes. Well, look, Seeking Oblivion was definitely a dark subject matter, and we can talk about that kind of at another time. But you definitely need a little levity there, right? Yeah. Because you can't just hammer somebody the whole time.
Exactly.
You're not going to improve the situation at all. Is that where you want to be? Like where you did so much music and you did this and you did the nightclub and you did. Is it movies where you want to be, or do you want to go back to music?
All of it. Yeah. I want everything. I want a James Beard Award as the world's best chef. I also want a star on the sidewalks outside of Grandma's Chinese Theater. Yeah, right. I want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I want to do it all. Why the hell not?
Yeah. No, well,
life's short. Have fun.
Respect
Tommy Rot was actually inducted into the London Music Hall of Fame this summer. Okay. We have a little spot with our album and posters and stuff
downtown at the London Music Hall. Yeah. Nice. Okay. We'll have to in the next little while before we put this together. I'll have to go down and get a shot of the thing. Yeah. There was there was a lot of history involved in Tommy Rot, and that's an entire other deep dive. Somebody wants to do a behind the band.
Yeah. Well, I was a fan before I was in the band. Okay. Pete was managing my band at the time. Yeah. And I was roadieing for Tommy Rot on my off days. Yeah. And when Ken, who was their bass player at the time, got the offer to join a band called The Joys, who were fantastic, he obviously took it. And I went, well, I'll play bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, slid right in. Right. And like we're all still close. I still talk to Pete and Ken all the time. It's the brotherhood, you know.
Yeah. There's something about being in a show. Yeah. I can't speak from a band. I'm more of a roadie level band guy. Like I had some guys who played, so I was always kind of the guy schlepping. Theater and all the other kind of stuff. Yeah. Once you're kind of done, and when you sit back and you look at it, there's things that you can't.
Well, it's family. There.
Yeah. Right?
Like I've got my Tommy Rot tattoo, and I proudly display it at all times. Yeah. I actually have a tattoo on my chest of our old guitar player's autograph.
Okay, all right.
I got that because he retired from the band. He had Crohn's. Okay, yeah. And it was really bad towards like the end of 2009. Yeah. And he needed to take a step back and retire from the band. Yeah. Because 3 a.m. Taco Bell and Jägermeister being your only sustenance is bad for Crohn's disease, it turns out. Yes. And he had 2 young boys and a beautiful girlfriend, so he wanted to, focus on that. So the night of his last show with us, I went and got his tattoo. Nice. And I constantly reminded him of that now. Yeah. He gets me some free merch from his new band. Like, I don't want to pay for that t-shirt. I have your autograph tattooed on me. His new band, Black River Remedy, are fantastic. Yeah. And his son, who was born in our first tour, is now his lead guitar player.
Nah, get out of here.
That's awesome. Incredible guitar player. Yeah. Gibson,
aptly named. Very nice. Yeah.
Plays a Fender though, which is weird.
You can't pick what you love. You brought a book.
I did.
Yeah.
That is my mom's most recent book.
Good.
Because she is better at writing than I am.
Right. Yeah. Look, it's a talent. It's a talent like anything
else. I started writing a book about 2 years ago. Yeah. And I think I'm about 4 chapters in. Yeah. And she pumps these out at least one a year.
Okay. Yeah, it's prolific.
She had I think a 5-book series that she started in the beginning of the pandemic. Okay. And that one is a whole different one, but that's my favorite. I love her series, but that one was her best one, I think. So I figured I'd bring that and prominently display it because it's my mommy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You you only get one generally.
Yeah, and she's the reason for all this.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's because we brought that up. I kind of sent you a little rider before to talk about it. Your father was an accountant.
Yeah.
Right? So, when I think about how you go about going about doing your things, like, you know, when I think about that, and then I kind of reflect on mine, my dad was a steel worker. Like, he was a motor winder in Algoma Steel years ago. He's since retired, of course. My mother was a housekeeper, but before that, she did hair styling. Okay. You know, so a little creative versus the two. And I was always very torn between the pull of practicality and the pull of doing something that you love, right? So do you think that had anything to do with your choices?
Yes and no. Yeah. My dad's side of the family is also very creative. Okay. He has two brothers, both younger than him. One was a jazz drummer and a blues drummer, and the other one is an organist for the Anglican Church, which we all kid him about because we are not a religious family at all, the rest of us. Yeah. But my dad couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. But my dad was a very, very logical man. Okay, yeah. But he's also a very kind man. I doubt you will ever find anybody that's ever met my father say an unkind word about him. Okay, yeah. When he retired from his job, he spent the last 10 years volunteering 40 hours a week at Salt Haven Animal Sanctuary. Okay. And I've never seen him happier than the photo that he showed me of him hand-feeding baby gophers. Okay. Yeah. Now he's retired from that and spends his days on his recliner with his cats in his lap. That's awesome. That's a good retirement. He's pretty happy.
That's the goal. You know,
but goals. Yeah, my mom, she was a guitar player and a singer in the 60s. Mm-hmm. Married my dad in the early 70s. They raced cars together before they calmed down enough to have kids. Yeah. She wrote when she was on maternity leave and did short stories with Marion Zimmer Bradley back in the day. Wow, Sword and Sorceress. Yes, yeah. My mom wrote a lot of stuff for them in the 80s when I was born because she didn't have to work and put me down for a nap and click away at the keyboard. And then she became a teacher for the 90s and 2000s. Yeah. And now that she's retired, she's in a seniors group that sing and act and do skits at nursing homes called the Nostalgic Theater. Okay. I'm not allowed to join because I'm a little too young, but it's pretty fun. I've seen some of their shows and it's great. Yeah. But growing up, we always had a piano around, so I would figure it out. I think I did a couple lessons when I was 7, but I didn't care. Yeah. I just tinkered. And then I found my mom's old guitar when I was like 10 or 11. Okay, all right. So now she showed me how to put strings on it and tune it. Yeah. And I got a couple lessons when I was like 13. Yeah. But I always liked figuring shit out on my own, so I just went with it. Yeah. And no one in my family ever said don't do that. Yeah. They put me into ballet and jazz and tap dancing when I was 3. So I was on stages at the age of 3 and realized I like this. I want all the eyes. Yes. Yeah. I don't care how I get them.
I feel that in my soul, sir. Yeah. I don't do it as often as I would like, but I love being on stage. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah.
I still go to open mic nights on occasion just because dust my guitar off, jump on, sing a couple songs. Yeah.
What's the reception like when you go into something like that kind of cold? Where you got some just random sitting in the audience and you sit down and start strumming?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention. I don't do it for them. I do it for me. Fair. Yeah. It's my therapy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And sometimes I just whip out a couple covers from time to time. Yeah. I have a thing on YouTube where every so often I'll get the itch and I'll learn a new cover and run through it a few times, put my camera on and post what happens. It's not perfect. Yeah. But it's fun. Yeah. My last one was Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus.
Nice. We got to talk about this. We get to the serious part of our interview. One of the things that I have kind of noticed over the years, and being kind of that I've been in the kitchen as well, bounced back and forth between kitchen and retail, and I do my theater, and I know people, I know rock stars, I know folk people, I know people who do puppetry. Like I'm kind of across the board, right? And there is a huge number of us, let's just be inclusive, that self-medicate. Drug, alcohol, whatever, like insert drug here. That also means two things. Why do you think we choose to hammer ourselves like that and kind of, I don't want to use the word punish, but that's kind of the word it is, rather than get out of that lifestyle? Like, why do we keep doing it?
I think the more creative somebody is, the more sensitive they are as well.
Okay.
You feel, you absorb.
Yeah.
And sometimes the world gets really crazy, for example, now.
Yes.
And a little bit of numbness goes a long way.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have a hard time deciding when to stop.
Yeah.
I'm a big drinker. Always have been. I had my experiences with hard stuff when I was in my early 20s. I've been clean over 14 years now. But there's a lot of cocaine, pills, just anything I could get my hands on. Yeah. And it was funny, I realized today when I was waking up and pouring all my pills into my hand that I do more pills a day now, pushing 40, than I did when I was in my early 20s having fun.
Yeah.
And these pills aren't nearly as fun.
Not nearly, no.
But I think a lot of them are counteract the pills I was doing 20 years ago.
Yeah, keeping away the snap, crackle, and pop of the joints and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
The main ones right now are the blood pressure medications.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know for sure, but I think the cocaine might have had a hand in that.
Look, my friend, I know a lot of guys who they are now no longer with us because they went hard early and they just caught up. Their heart said, "Nope, I'm done." So the availability probably doesn't hurt as well. Again, there are 100 different ways to dull that pain, my friend. There are, you know what I mean? Like some people cut, some people, you know what I mean? So, do you have any kind of? You've been clean for 14 years now, my friend. What do you have any kind of heads up thought process on how you kept it at a bay for those years now?
I didn't have the money that I did.
Okay.
I didn't own a nightclub anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't have a record out on the radio. Now it's just I come home from work and have a few beers with my cat.
Yes. Companionship
She
is
helps.
important. Your cat is just as important as any other.
She helps. She also might also have a hand in the blood pressure medication.
Okay. Yeah.
When I have to scream at her to stop eating the shower curtain.
Cat things. Yeah. We had a cat years and years ago, and his name was Butters, and he was a very, very cute cat, but just not the brightest. Would just get on things, and didn't seem to mind the spritzing. We tried the spritz, but did not do anything.
Well, I've had cats my entire life.
Yeah.
My parents had 2 when I was born. We got 2 more after them. Yeah. They got 2 more after them. And when I moved out, when I was, I think, 20, I got one. Yeah. And I had him for 15 years. And last year I had to put him down. So I went out to the Humane Society and I got Lucy. Yes. Because I had a 2-week period without a cat and went, this is stupid. Yeah. I was like, what am I doing? I need a cat.
We had a Cairn Terrier, and she's passed. Her name is Pepper, and we've got that. We do want another dog, but we also like being able to just walk out the door, lock it, and be good, right? And we always made that mistake earlier when I was younger, getting a cat, thinking that you didn't have to really look after it. Years later, I have, of course, realized that is not the case at all.
100%. But I know my lifestyle couldn't work with a dog.
Fair.
I love dogs.
Yeah.
But a cat is a lot easier. Because there are times where I'm not home for 15 hours. Yeah. Can't do that with a dog in a 1-bedroom apartment.
No, you cannot, sir.
But my cat's fine. She's good.
Litter trained.
Yeah, as long as I give her snuggles when I get home, she doesn't care.
Yeah. Get the lifestyle used to it and that sort of thing. Right. Yeah. What's new? What's going on? What's happening in the future? Where are you at right now? What would you like to plug, sir? Now that you're here.
still working on that book.
Yeah.
Might have to have a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
I've noticed that because I can start an idea.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just go, I don't know what to do now. And I was working on a screenplay.
Yeah.
I was going to write the next movie for Pete and Brent and I to be in. And I got 2-3 pages and I went, Pete, take this and run with it. I gave him some notes. I want to play the lead in this one instead of a background guy.
Right, what you know.
And I wanted to stretch my acting ability a bit. Instead of being the comedic relief, I'm going to be the lead, and I'm also going to be gay in this next one. Because it's going to be centered around the kitchen industry.
Okay.
And people don't seem to realize how many members of the LGBTQ community are in kitchens. Like, even now I'm wearing my pro-trans t-shirt.
Nice. Love it.
In solidarity with my friend Charlotte, who is currently at work.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? It's time that I play a gay character and really flex my acting muscles and see how far I can go with this.
Yeah. Now, just to touch on it, because you said it, do you think that there's a sense that they join a kitchen community because it's generally not seen? Do you think that maybe
I think it's more that we're more accepting.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
I've always referred to kitchens as a pirate's galley.
Yeah.
We wear funny pants, weird hats. Most of us have piercings and tattoos. Most of us have missing teeth or bad oral hygiene. We carry blades. We generally don't fit in with society. But we don't care. We love each other.
Yeah.
Whether you're gay, bi, straight, trans, Nepalese, Indian, black, we don't care. Can you cook?
Yeah. Can you fire that dish and get that entree up?
Yeah, can you do that? We don't care.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Okay, I like that.
And I think it's the last like true place for the misfit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's all we are is misfits.
Yeah.
And so
I
it
haven't
doesn't
worked
really.
with a normal kitchen person yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anthony Bourdain was one of my favorites, and he was a misfit. Yeah. Like I got that when he died, and that was he drew that in the updated version of Kitchen Confidential.
Okay.
And when I found out about his death, I immediately got that done. So I always have a piece of him with me.
The creative thing for me is strange too, because I'll start something and I'll get into it and I'll like both feet, I'll be let's go. That's and you get into it and you're like, holy, this is a huge endeavor, and like sure, she makes it look easy, but like when you start putting pen to paper, it becomes this burden, right? And if you can't carry it, it just kind of goes into your back pocket. Like I have so many projects that I've started with Blender and writing and all kind of stuff. I have so many things that I could pick up and do, but I'll get to that.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
I'm the worst at that.
Yeah.
I'll have a day off and be like, all right, I'm going to write today. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write. Then I'll, end up watching Grey's Anatomy for 7 hours.
Yeah.
And go, well, there goes that day.
Yeah, that little square, that doom square that you have, so that'll take up all your day.
Well, I got rid of my phone number.
Attaboy.
About a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't have a phone plan.
Okay.
My phone is only usable if I'm on Wi-Fi. You can text me through apps. Okay, and it was the best thing I've ever done.
Look of horror on my face. Like, wow, that's impressive.
If I'm on the bus between work and home, you can't contact me.
I like it.
And
truly.
it's great. Because I bring a book and I read my book or I listen to music. And in the summers, I go for walks in the woods. And I'm off the grid.
Yeah.
Nobody can bother me.
I like that very
and
much.
I just have me.
Yeah, that phone is there for my convenience, no one else's. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I want to check my messages, I'll stop by McDonald's or Timmy's and use their Wi-Fi and check my messages. And nothing important. And I'll continue on my way.
I like it. Untethered. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it very much.
It's funny. I don't think I'm ever going to have a phone number again.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, we're moving into that house. We got the whole thing, and like, you know, do we want to get a house line? You know, why?
Yeah.
Why? You know, no, I think the day of the phone is over. I think really the computer that you hold is
the only time it has any impact on me now is people can't buzz up when they get to my apartment.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
But I would say if I'm already at home waiting for you, send me a message.
Yeah,
I'll come down.
Yeah, that works. Sir, thank you very much. That is our allotted time. We only actually have a half an hour. There's
my
time
pleasure.
to go. And all right, man.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks again, and we'll see you later. All right, everybody, that was Myke Armstrong. I love sitting down with Myke. He's awesome. He's always got a story for me, and he's just full of life, and I just love him to pieces. So I'm glad that you've now met Myke Armstrong. Listen to some of the music. Go on to Spotify, and we'll put up some links for you. It'll all be there, and you can watch and listen and see what Myke's all about. He's awesome. Just get into him. He's pretty cool. I just wanted to touch base with everybody who listens to and watches the show, all three of you. We're coming up on an election season. All I want to say to you is, I don't care how you vote, just vote. That's the important thing. A little bit, it's your civic duty. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, because I'm not. It's the one thing you get to do and participate in this country that we love and hate and shake our fist at and shrug and vote. That's all it is. Just get out and vote, man. You actually get out of work if you want. You can take time out of work and go vote. Doesn't matter. Just figure out where you are. Make sure you're registered. Get that card that comes in the mail. Take that card with you. Take some ID. Go and vote. It takes 30 seconds. It really does not take long. And who knows? Maybe you can change the world. Thank you very much, and we will see you next month.